It is March 3rd, 2025. And the tariffs are about to start. So we're going to be talking about that. We got other things going on. I also got an idea. So I've been trying to kind of think of ways to do things, get a few more views over here, because evidently they just decided to trash all the content creators, like the, you know, anyway. So yeah, everybody's been contacting me like, hey man, have you noticed this? Have you noticed? Yes, everybody's noticed. So if you're not someone like David Pakman, you might know who he is. You might not. They think he's the greatest person of all time. He's a leftist YouTuber and whatever. But been thinking about doing a video during the day called The Lead, which is to take something like Pope getting sick, which is my video over on the Global Intel channel. But, Pope getting sick, or the tariffs, or Netanyahu saying we're about to start the war again, stuff like that. Something like some story where there's a lot of chatter about. Doing like a 3 to 5 minute video to kind of get you an idea of where things are going, calling it The Lead. So we'll just have to see, because we got to do that, because they're just spreading us wide open and going BALLS deep. So kind of trying to think of ways to come up and do it, but yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous, the things you have to go through. Worst boss ever. We'll just kind of chalk it up to that. But anyway, this is your crisis report. I'm sure you haven't been notified. You've probably been unsubscribed at some point. And we're just going to keep doing it here. We're going to keep telling you like it is. Give you the most comprehensive news on YouTube, which got a good compliment from Hudson Valley Preparedness. He said, what I like about it is I just strap on the headphones and listen and I get everything. And that's exactly what I do. And I'm not just some Yahoo who does this. Actually, I have some education in it of a collegiate level, and multiple degrees and stuff. So I teach too. I am licensed in multiple states, and also have to pass background checks. So again, I'm not like Chuck Todd, who doesn't have a degree at all. I'm actually, you might know him from NBC News. I'm a guy that actually has been trained in this, so there's a reason why it's really good, and there's a reason why they don't want you to know what it is and why we do it here, because I am not going to pay them a lot of money to be on here like the big channels. I'm just going to put my message out, and then they'll sit there and mushroom stamp it with a nice scrotum, and we'll just have to move on from there. So, but here's the good news. With this, sure, you won't, get notified or anything like that, but my God, the sarcasm will probably be thick, and if not, the analysis will be spot on and good. A lot of people were commenting on my video yesterday about the things going on with the post-op of Zelensky and Trump, and me basically deducing it down that you have got three options. First one is they actually do a ceasefire thing, and they give up land and stuff, and that's what happens. It happened from war since the beginning of war. Option two is, Ukraine just keeps fighting and eventually winds down and dies and, gets taken over. Or option three, a bunch of outsiders from the West go in, and it's a big full-on World War III between Russia and NATO, Article 5 style. And I think of the three different options, number one is what's known as the best, because that does this really cool thing. If you get a ceasefire going, then they stop shooting their weapons and people stop dying. Pretty cool. Yes, they will not get the Crimea back, okay, and they can Crimea River, but people will stop dying, and the meat grinder will end, at least for a little while. So I don't know about you. Kind of sounds like a good option to me. All right, well, let's take you through all the intel that's going on out here on the most comprehensive news on YouTube. super late style, but sorry about that. I have a wife and family, and I like to hang out with them. So, and also, it is really crazy right now for my family and I. We are super, super deep in sports ball. My daughter and my other daughter are both on different teams, and they do a lot of traveling and a lot of stuff. And then, of course, I am a coach as well. So, and not on either of their teams. So, it is, it's crazy. It's busy. And we don't really get a lot of time. We're always shuttling back and forth from one practice to another practice to another practice to another practice. And I play music at a big Thunder Huge gig on Saturday because, well, I like to do things that are good. I like to not do things half-assed. I like to do it right. So, speaking of which, let's get started on the crisis report for March 3rd, 2025. God bless you all. Hit that button, like and share and all that. Won't do anything. Numbers won't go up. They'll completely hinder us, and they'll want us to pay for our views and stuff. And we're just not going to do that because, cool. All right, let's get started. Taiwan reports increased PLA activity, 6 a.m. local, 10 PLA aircraft, 6 PLA and vessels, 4 official Chinese ships detected around Taiwan. 9 aircraft crossed the median line entering Taiwan's southwestern and southeastern Adis. Oscars in politics, Daryl Hannah says Slava Ukraine while presenting the award for best editing. You have not heard of any of the movies, I mean. The one that won all the awards is called Honora. It's about a Russian oligarch who marries a sex worker. And the lady that won the best actress said she is an ally to the sex worker industry. So I think it's absolutely wonderful. I don't know if she goes out and reads children's stories to the kids out in Vegas as the ladies go out to the ranch to have another night of work, but I don't know exactly what being an ally of the industry is, but I guess evidently that's a thing now. Ukrainian drones carried out a deep strike of the war, hitting Russia's Ufa oil refinery, which was 1,300 kilometers behind the front line. It looks like they really do want to start World War III. We should spend less time worrying about Putin, said Trump. Zelensky says we need peace, not endless war, and that is why we say that security guarantees are the key to this, because Lord knows endless war would be stopped with a ceasefire, which he's basically refusing to do. We call that, I don't even know what to call it. Hungarian Prime Minister Orban, European leaders decided in London today that they want to go on with the war instead of opting for peace. That's not ceasefire. Decided that Ukraine must continue the war. Okay, so let's read these together. We need peace, not endless war. European leaders decided in London today that they want to go on with the war. Cussing alert. What the fuck is it then? Seriously. We need peace, not endless war. They decided that Ukraine must continue the war. Seriously. Just asking. Dangerous and mistaken. Hungary remains on the side of peace. Political turmoil in Iran sent the stock market tumbling. Iran's economy minister Abdunasir Hamati was sacked by the parliament in no confidence vote. Mohammad Javad Zarif resigned as assistant to the president. Unclear if he'll be replaced. During the parliamentarian session, President Masoud Pezeshkian defended Hamadi and disagreed with the Supreme Leader over negotiations with the U.S. He stated that the Supreme Leader was the final authority. So, something's going on politically over there. Could be bad, whatever. Senator Graham said that perhaps you should consider resigning to Zelensky. Zelensky said, I can give him citizenship of Ukraine. He will become a citizen of our country, and then his voice will gain weight. Basically a roundabout way of saying shut up. Ukrainian President Zelensky says Turkey can take part in Ukraine's future security framework. That's nice. Turkey and the United Kingdom will hold consultations on Syria. Turkey-UK meeting will focus on Syria's security, stability, and economic situation. Key discussion points are strengthening national reconciliation and central governance with international support, unconditional lifting of sanctions to support Syria's economic recovery, and emphasizing that terrorism has no place in Syria's future. A little history lesson. This group used to basically be ISIS. Yeah. So let's read that again. Emphasizing that terrorism has no place in Syria's future to the new group of people running the show, also formerly known as ISIS. Cool. Privately, there is a talk that Trump-Putin meeting, which has always been on the agenda, is being accelerated. Preparations are also underway for the second round of talks between Russia and the United States, due to take place quite soon. Putin and Trump have had no public contact since their telephone call February 12th. Since February 24th, 2022, Zelensky has thanked the U.S. 94 times. It's nice of you. You're welcome. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, increasing defense spending will bolster our national security and help to put more money in people's pockets. After running out of grenades, Ukrainian soldiers have reportedly been throwing beehives into a basement where Russian troops were hiding. It's innovative. Very 4th century. I love it. United Kingdom distanced itself from the French President Emmanuel Macron, his proposal for a 1-month ceasefire in Ukraine, because God knows we don't want to stop the fighting, citing concerns that it could allow Russia to regroup and strengthen its position. Okay. British Armed Forces Minister Luke Pollard said it is for the Ukrainians to choose who their leaders are. President Zelensky is a democratically elected leader. He was, but there has not been an election in quite some time. United States Congressman Brandon Gill wants to replace Benjamin Franklin with Trump on the $100 bill after Trump's current term ends. Current U.S. law needs to be changed to allow for living people to be depicted on currency. Not a smart idea, and please stop with that stuff. It's a waste of time. Trump's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, says that elections are canceled in Ukraine, churches are being shut down, political opposition is silenced, and there is total government control of the media. It's awful democratic of you over there. You are democracy. Car ramming attack happened in Mannheim, Germany. Police investigation is underway. Why? Because, well, they're being overrun by certain people from other countries that are not in Europe. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says we will inform EU member states on Tuesday about our rearming Europe plan. Okay. Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot of France, the United States has no interest in abandoning Ukraine and Europe. I think they've got an interest in peace. I think that's what it really comes down to. And it's not going to be easy when the president of the country that is directly involved basically knows that, like, when the fighting gets done, his political career is over. So you tell me, is he going to be fighting for a end of the war? Or does he see himself, gilded and shining lights on currency in the future, being this, like, heroic human being? That's what I think he sees. And so he doesn't want to give up being president. And so because of that, his points are not to give up being the president. So Macron. Europeans can no longer rely on NATO as they used to. Trump's position has weakened it. I'd say also you could say you guys not funding it fully has weakened it. 5% is 5%. Put your money where your mouth is, because it is your military. And you've got this supposedly big bad wolf on your border. One would think that you would fund it fully. Several people were injured as a result of the attack in Mannheim, Germany. Condition is considered serious. British Defense Minister will travel to the United States this week to meet his counterpart for talks. German police shut down Mannheim city center over life-threatening situation. One person dead so far, but the dead toll rose to 2, with 25 entered, 15 of which in critical condition. And German spokesperson said that the one person has been arrested. It is unclear whether there are other suspects. Wouldn't a description help? Just saying. World Food Program closed its office in South Africa after Trump's decision to reduce aid. Oh my God, they're gonna go broke. No. When I see that, I mean, I'm sure that there's some good coming out of the World Food Program, but South Africa isn't exactly a bastion of freedom. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot: we are having a hard time understanding the United States Secretary of Defense's decision to stop cyber operations against Russia. EU countries are constantly targeted by Russian cyber attacks. Again, I think Trump is trying to woo Putin over to our side because he knows that the big fight's coming, and if it's America versus Russia and China, we got problems. If we can get Russia out of their sphere of influence, and just focus on China, we have a heck of a lot better chance. Again, Russia has these things called nuclear weapons, and they can melt the F out of your face and butt, if chosen. Israel plans to expand occupation of Syria, intending to expand its operational occupation zone 15 kilometers inside Syrian territory, creating a zone of influence stretching 60 kilometers under Israeli intelligence control. Plan includes areas near Damascus. So, United States National Security Advisor Waltz says Zelensky is not ready to talk peace at all. Here's the problem. Time is not on his side. Time is not on the side of just forever continuing this conflict. No, it's not. Mexican President Sheinbaum: around 20,000 people have been sent to Mexico from the United States since Trump took office. So 20,000, but about a month, we'll say 30. So current levels, he should be getting rid of about 350,000 people just to Mexico. Canadian Energy Minister: if the United States imposes tariffs on Canada, then we'll retaliate. President largest chip maker, TSMC, intends to invest $100 billion in chip manufacturing plants in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Plan is expected to be announced later Monday by Trump. And then it's the Taiwan company. Mannheim attacker is a 40-year-old German national with mental health issues. He killed 2 people. Netanyahu in the Knesset says, I say to Hamas, if you do not release the hostages, you will pay a price you cannot imagine. Mineral deal won't happen until Zelensky publicly apologizes to the cameras for his behavior in the Oval Office during the meeting, according to Fox News and Trump. U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett says Trump is an enemy to the United States. I don't even know where to go with that one. Hamas outrightly rejects the Witkoff plan to extend the phase 1 of the ceasefire. Hamas insists negotiations should be on phase 2. Israeli government has ordered the military to take up positions at all crossings leading into the Gaza Strip and seal them. Netanyahu government informed the Americans it's stopping aid to Gaza. Israeli government approves the calling up of 400,000 reserve troops. Israel estimates that the already existing humanitarian aid in Gaza will last 4 months. for the locals and 6 months for Hamas as they have stocked up supplies. Former Hezbollah leader Nasrallah's son reveals that his father was in an acute depression in the final days due to the heavy losses before he was 86th by an Israeli airstrike. It was the pager thing that made him go crazy. Russia will test its emergency warning systems throughout the country on March 5th. TV and radio will broadcast the "Attention Everyone" signal, accompanied by the sound of electric sirens and loudspeakers. We had that over for channel members as soon as we found out this morning. If I get something like that, I'll put it out there. If you are a channel member, it is a couple bucks a month. Supremely helpful. It's tough right now. We're getting it from all sides. So one of the best ways to make Borg play nice is to be a member. It's $8 a month. Helps. Suspension of military and financial aid to Ukraine could be announced tomorrow at Trump's address to Congress. Trump administration is also planning to downsize its presence in Europe. It will be discussed in the meeting today. Includes manpower, military assets, and even strategic assets. NSA Mike Waltz, along with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, are going to discuss next steps following last week's Oval Office clash with Zelensky. Trump is to announce shortly that the Taiwanese chipmaker TSMC is making a $100 billion investment in semiconductor manufacturing plants in the U.S. And the announcement is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Eastern. American side has deliberately orchestrated the confrontation during President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to the White House. Friedrich Merz, the head of Germany's Christian Democratic Union and the likely chancellor, said on March 3rd. Today, the Pope suffered 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure caused by a significant accumulation of endobronchial mucus and consequent bronchospasm. By the way, we have a video on this over on the Global Intel channel. That's right, the Global Intel channel. The GIC, as some call it. If this here were ever to go away, that's where you go. So, but I covered a video on the Pope earlier today, and it's not looking good. So, additionally, Pope underwent 2 bronchioscopies and remains critical at this moment. Hungary blocked the draft EU document on security guarantees for Ukraine and new military aid. Moscow has denied entry into the country to the Japanese foreign minister and other 8 Japanese government officials. Mexico does not deal with the collusion between the country's government and drug cartels. The U.S. military is prepared to take unilateral action. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly told Mexican officials. Sorry, published weird. Polish-American conservative influencer Jack Posobiec, Poso, accuses Ukrainian National Guard's Azov Brigade of being behind Ryan Ruth, the second would-be hitter of that day. Happens despite the fact that lately evidence rose up showing that Ryan was extensively contacted with friends in Iran before the attempt on Trump's life. Trump administration has stopped financing new weapons sales to Ukraine and is considering freezing weapons shipments from U.S. stockpiles. Trump's blanket 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico will come into effect tomorrow. Washington Post, Trump administration is weighing cuts to intelligence sharing and military training for Ukrainian troops and pilots. U.S. Senate voted 51-47 to confirm Linda McMahon as Secretary of Education. United States is pausing all United States military aid to Ukraine until Trump determines the Ukrainians show a commitment to good faith and good negotiations. A senior Trump administration official told Fox News. This is not permanent termination of aid, it's a pause, the official emphasized. The orders are going out right now. Officials said that his response to Ukrainian President Zelensky's conduct over the last week. Pentagon denies media reports that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered a halt in the offensive cyber operations against the Russia. $1.07 billion liquidated from the current cryptocurrency markets, and that is just in the last 24 hours. Oof. Netanyahu in the Knesset plenary. We are preparing for the next stages of the war. Canadian Prime Minister will impose tariffs on United States goods starting today if U.S. tariffs go into effect. Customs duties of 25% of U.S. goods worth $107 billion. Canadian tariffs will remain in place until U.S. trade measures on our goods are withdrawn. Speaker Johnson invites ex-Israeli hostage Noah Argamani to Trump's State of the Union address to Congo. Stocks fell sharply Monday after President Trump said he decided to move forward with 25% tariffs on nearly all goods imported from Mexico and Canada, with Wall Street concerning that the import duties could threaten economic growth and reignite inflation. Israel has launched a new incursion into southern Syria tonight. Incursion is towards Tel Al-Mal and Tel Mashara in the Quneitra and Darah provinces. Helicopters are being used to airdrop Israeli special forces. And last one. Oh, no, a few more. Sorry. 60% of adults will be overweight or obese by 2050, according to a study. Private investigators uncovered evidence that Trump shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks didn't act alone and was part of a criminal network. United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, says Trump's admin's plans to terminate building leases for SEC regional offices in Los Angeles and Philadelphia. PM of Canada, Justin Trudeau, condemned Trump's unjustifiable 25% tariffs and says retaliatory tariffs on $155 billion of American goods will take effect at 12:01 Eastern if the moves forward tonight. And JFK Airport is placed on red alert on foreign traveler. You guessed it, he was infected with measles. And he has infected untold numbers. So, yeah, there it is. So, that is your crisis report, friends. Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Please hit the like button, share it out. God bless you all. Check the links in the description and have a wonderful evening. PrepperNow. Crisis Report out.